Hi, it's Mr. Rowe. Today I will be attempting to face the ends of brass bars using a Harbor Freight Cross Slide Vise and a MagDrill.
Like that. What the hell?
So what I want to do is attempt to face the ends of these 1-inch brass bars. It's going to be quite visible to the customer, so it'd be nice if that sit a little better. And I'm going to attempt to do it with my MagDrill.
What?
So stay tuned. So our brass security cage is starting to take shape a little bit. Now I'm going to start working on the bars for these 1-inch holes. But first I have to drill and tap the ends. Both ends need to be drilled and tapped to 3/8. And so I'm going to use the same setup. I don't have any V blocks, but what I do have is this from my hydraulic press, just for bending steel. And at the other end, I'm going to use the same chuck that I used in the last video with this little adapter here to hold the 1-inch bar rigid so it doesn't rotate. And I'll be using that later when I'm attempting the lathing.
Lathing's not a word.
I'm just going to clamp it down so there's no movement, and that'll also hopefully help it from rotating. So I've just marked the center there. So the other thing that the MagDrill has is it has the magnetic base, but you can loosen off here and you can swivel and adjust your position. Otherwise it'd be a nightmare trying to position it exactly. So that's what I'm going to do. Line that up there with a little center drill and drill and tap the ends. Oh, shit. Hey, why didn't you just do that for the 1/2-inch bars in the last video? So the reason I'm threading these together is brass bar only comes in 12-foot long lengths, and I needed some approximately 7-foot long sections. So instead of having lots of waste and extra cost, threading them together, but the seam will be covered by another brass bar. So I put that holder that I showed you before is now going to be the drive end of the 1-inch brass bar. So I actually do have a proper adapter I use it for annular cutters, but it's not 1-inch. I thought about reaming it out, but just whipped up this little adapter for this job. And I don't have a 1-inch bearing to do the same trick I did last time. So this time I'm going to use this, it's actually part of a table that I made years ago. It's actually a leftover leg from making a set of these tables for a restaurant in Toronto. Got the 1-inch hole in it already. So but you're saying, how are you going to hold the tool? Well, what I do have is one of these crappy Cross Slide Vises. I got at Princess Auto. Princess Auto is like a Canadian Harbor Freight. I think it's going to have the 1-inch brass in the holder. It's not tightened up yet. And here's the plan down here. So I have the block And you know, it's a little bit sloppy, but it's going to take all the load at this end, and then this slide is going to hold the tool holder. And I see I have a problem already. This wood is in the way, so I'm going to cut this off. That'll give me some clearance. This will get clamped down. I'm concerned about, you know, this vise sucks, so just doing something like that. So you have to think of something to do for that. Hold that down better. And need to clean up the threads and the gibs on this thing and try and take as much slop out of it as I can. And we'll see what happens.
So everything is sloppy and floppy on this thing. And there's crazy amounts of backlash and everything.
I have everything, the cross vise leg down, everything's clamped down. So hopefully nothing's going to move. But a little bit low. I need to be in the center of the bar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this divider that is approximately the right thickness, is going to get me close. And then if I need more adjustment, I'm going to use the... Hey, my wife made this. Cool. I'm going to use these set screws so I can kind of jack it just to do some finite adjustment. So how do I keep the MagDrill rigid in position? Because I'm going to be forcing that way on the material. So there is no real way to, you know, it didn't come with any type of locking really. They got this cheesy thing here, but it doesn't really lock it. And I thought about maybe tapping one of those, but then I'm pressing on this surface, which I don't want to do, and mess it up. So I got looking at this rack underneath here, and it's pretty much the shape of the end of this chisel. So I'm going to clamp that on there to lock this from sliding back and forth. So there, I got a chisel in there, and it's actually surprisingly quite rigid. Looked up the turning speed for brass, and it says 100 to 200 surface feet per minute. So this is 1 inch bar. That means that I need to go, what is that? So I believe that's 400 to 800 RPM. MagDrill, we have high and low speed. So I had it in low before. So I'll put it in high. So low is maximum 375 and high is up to 700. And then there's a dial down here, you can't see it, but for variable speed. So I should be able to pick, you know, kind of a mid-high range should be approximately the right speed. I'm fully expecting something horrible to happen here. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
That noise doesn't sound good, but keep going.
that? What the hell? Oh, shatter.
A lot of friction going on inside this block. So I did put some oil, but I'm gonna have something a little better, I guess, if I'm gonna be lazy and not go buy a bearing.
I added a hole in the top of the walnut to act as an oil cup to gravity feed down to the brass. And I added a couple more clamps. The entire bar with the extension is going to be cut to length after I'm done this, so I don't have to worry about the total length at this point.
So hopefully you can see that. That is seating so much nicer. It's the little things.
So if you've come this far, you have to like and subscribe. You can see the 1-inch round bars, they're installed there now, and the 1/2-inch bars I did in my last video with the brass balls on the ends. And in the next video I will be heat plating brass on mild steel using my propane forge to create the curved ends of this security cage. And after that I'll be bending 1-inch round brass bar and 1/2-inch to create the curved top of this cage. Part 3 will be coming out shortly. Thanks for watching.